Boy, do I hate hyper-partisan media. Now look, let me start by saying this. A lot of people, they'll say, oh Tim, you're calling out the left so much, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Look, there are things I focus on because of my perspective. I can't see everything, I can't report on everything all the time, so I talk about things that I care about. My political values are not represented by me calling out Democrats. You know, I just read an op-ed from Sally Cohn, who is on the left, who's progressive, and I agree with like almost everything she says, and I'm so happy to see a modern mainstream left willing to call out the fringe on the far left. And what we have right now is hyperpartisan nonsense that expands the divide, and this is why I want to call these people out. Look, to me, the Republicans are doing what they've always done. It's not new or interesting to me. And I've never aligned myself or felt like they represented me in any way. So what do I care if the Republicans are doing the same thing they always do? I'm not a part of any tribe. What I do know is that my political values align with the center left, with social liberals, and more with like how Democrats used to be. And I feel like they're abandoning things that they need to, and that's why I'm critical of them. We see these hyperpartisan stories, and this is the problem. This is from Hill Reporter. Tucker Carlson allegedly involved in assault of a gay immigrant. Oh, please. Spare me. This is ridiculous. I can make a bunch of allegations against anybody. There's no merit to this story and it's absurd. So this is Ed Krasenstein. He says, moments ago, attorney Michael Avenatti tweeted that he is investigating an alleged assault committed by Fox News' Tucker Carlson and or members of his inner circle, please. The incident that apparently took place at a club in Virginia last month is at least partially corroborated through a video seen below, although no evidence or assault is depicted in the video, so why'd you write about it? This is what bothers me about hyper-partisan nonsense, okay? It's a video of Tucker Carlson telling someone to F off, okay? Apparently the story is, like Tucker Carlson said his daughter was called a whore, and he got mad and started yelling at the guy. Apparently Tucker's son may have splashed wine in the guy's face. I think that's what happened, and that was it. So splashing wine in someone's face is absolutely assault, and depending on where it took place, it could be battery, right? In Illinois, that is battery, for sure. In New York, I believe it would just be assault. It depends on the state law. This is Virginia, so I don't know what the rules are. The point is, the framing of it, first of all, Tucker Carlson wasn't the person, according to the story, who actually splashed him. It was his son. But that's why you put allegedly involved in assault. What does that mean? So if Tucker Carlson was at a bar, and here's what they do. Here's what they do that really bothers me about the media. Let's say you're at a bar, and somebody assaults a gay immigrant, and you run up and say, hey, stop fighting, leave him alone. I can now say you were involved in the assault of a gay immigrant. And people will read this and assume it is you who did it, when in reality you could have been stopping it. That's why they put allegedly involved, okay? Because they didn't say he assaulted anybody. They didn't say he did. They say he allegedly was involved in this. Why? Because there's a video of him telling someone to screw up. We don't even know what happened, all right? You know, there was one joke I made a while ago about this reporter who's like an Antifa reporter who constantly lies, and she went to Unite the Right, and so the joke I made is that you could say, you know, this reporter who did attend Unite the Right constantly writes about these issues, and when you frame it that way, it makes it sound like she was participating, when in reality she was reporting it. But this is how they frame things. You can frame the narrative by using this kind of language. How can we accurately say this? Sure. Video released by Michael Avenatti shows Tucker Carlson swearing at a man. There's your story. That's what you know. Outside of this, you're just trying to smear Tucker Carlson, and this is how they operate. Listen, Tucker Carlson's got, I think he has said some dumb things I disagree with, and that's fine. I've been on his show before, right? Tucker Carlson is willing to have many people from the left on his show, and he argues with them. It's fantastic. Great. This is absurd smearing of somebody simply because you don't like him. And you know what? It sounds like this is emerging because of what happened with his house, and they're putting him in the spotlight, and now they're trying to claim, oh, he lied about those protesters, and look what he really did. When you frame it like this, they're trying to make it seem like Tucker Carlson is some kind of evil bigot who hated a gay immigrant. It's just such utter nonsense. You know what? I'm not going to entertain this hyper-partisan nonsense. Let's read Daily Wire about what happened. We're going to read the Daily Wire. And listen, Daily Wire is also biased. It is Ben Shapiro's outlet. It is a right-wing outlet. And it's not necessarily fair to use this, you know, as an article to read, in my opinion. But we've got two different stories here. We've got the fringy, outright absurd notion, allegedly involved in assault of gay immigrants. Oh, please, dude, I'm not going to read this. How dare you? That's just ridiculous. Talk about what actually happened. Don't try and smear it, even when they acknowledge no violence or assault is depicted in the video. That's why I'm not going to read it, okay? So this from the Daily Wire. Avenatti strikes again, tries to attack Tucker Carlson, and accidentally reveals Carlson's been harassed by leftists before. And the point they're making is that in the video, the dude, they're having an argument, but if you want to play nonpartisan, we can say, okay, Tucker Carlson is allegedly, his son splashed somebody with wine, or this guy was calling his teenage daughter a whore, and they got into it, all right? Celebrity attorney Michael Avenatti announced Saturday that he was investigating an allegation that Fox News host Tucker Carlson assaulted a gay Latino immigrant, but ended up revealing that Carlson, who was recently the target of a violent Antifa protest last week, had been harassed by leftists before, and probably much more often than this. Avenatti posted a link to a video on his Twitter account. The full YouTube clip, available here, in addition to within Avenatti's tweet, shows Carlson and his son in a state of anger amid a small crowd of onlookers urging the pair to calm down. Carlson can be heard on video telling someone off camera to get the F out of here. And here's the video. Avenatti said, "We are investigating an alleged assault on a gay Latino immigrant committed by Tucker Carlson and or members of his inner circle at a club in VA in October. It likely includes underage drinking in violation of VA law." You see how he frames this? My God, you know what, man? Michael Avenatti's become too desperate. I think he's burning out. He's got nothing left. So now what is he doing? A month-old video where Tucker Carlson got into an argument with someone at a bar is a news story? Jesus. The video does not show a physical altercation. Avenatti, of course, claimed the video was evidence in an investigation he was conducting into an alleged assault that took place at a Virginia country club, and implied that he may be representing the gay Latino immigrant that Carlson assaulted. They put in quotes. But Carlson says the video is evidence of something different, an evening of targeted harassment that turned ugly. That harassment, Carlson says, was directed at him and his teenage daughter, who happened to meet the man as she was returning from a trip to the lavatory during a family dinner. In a statement to Business Insider, Carlson outlined the series of events and denied ever assaulting a gay Latino immigrant. He said, "On October 13th, I had dinner with two of my children and some family friends at the Farmington Country Club in Charlottesville, Virginia. Toward the end of the meal, my 19-year-old daughter went to the bathroom with a friend. On their way back through the bar, a middle-aged man stopped my daughter and asked if she was sitting with Tucker Carlson. My daughter had never seen the man before. She answered, 'That's my dad,' and pointed to me. The man responded, 'Are you Tucker's whore?' And then he called her an effing C," Carlson said. "My daughter returned to the table in tears. She soon left the table and club. My son, who was also a student, went to the bar to confront the man. I followed. My son asked the man if he'd called his sister a whore and a C word. I probably can't even say whore. The man admitted he had, and again became profane. My son threw a glass of red wine in the man's face and told him to leave the bar, which he soon did." Okay. The way Avenatti framed it, Tucker Carlson and or members of his family, is a way that can make it, what he's saying is true. If Tucker Carlson is admitting his son threw a glass of red wine in the man's face, that is assault, and depending on the jurisdiction, it could be assault and battery, straight up. So Carlson said, "Oh no, nobody assaulted him." Well, no, hold on, man. You're misunderstanding. I mean, if you threw a glass of red wine in the man's face, you did. That's assault. So look, you shouldn't do it. Now here's the thing. Back in the day, I feel like we've become extremely litigious and overly sensitive. We have movies where women splash men with drinks, and you shouldn't do it. It's wrong. But is it the worst thing in the world? Maybe they ruined his suit. Maybe Tucker is going to have to pay for a new suit, dry cleaning, whatever. I don't think the wine is going to cause permanent damage to the guy. Shouldn't be done. But I really can empathize. I mean, to all the people who are parents, if some strange person tells your daughter she's a whore and an effing C word, and she starts crying, Tucker Carlson, lucky he didn't beat the living snot out of the guy. But Tucker, the worst we see is that his son splashed wine in his face. So if somebody started threatening my family and insulting anybody, you're going to get into it. Come on, man, have some respect. But to send your sister, your daughter, into tears over insulting her like this, I gotta say, I think Tucker Carlson restrained himself by doing nothing but telling him to get the F out of there. His son might be in trouble. Seriously, he may be. You can't splash wine on people's face. Though I do empathize with the feeling of wanting to do that. Immediately after the incident, I described these events to the management of the Farmington Country Club. The club spent more than 3 weeks investigating the incident. Last week, they revoked the man's membership and threw him out of the club. Boom, plain and simple. Carlson added that while he and his son refrained from touching the subject, it took a wealth of self-control to keep cool. He said, "I love my children. It took enormous self-control not to beat the men with a chair." I hear that. I can hear that. I'm glad you didn't, Tucker, which is what I wanted to do. Look, violence is wrong, okay? I'm glad Tucker did not beat him with a chair. But I think it's fair to say, like, you understand why he'd want to. And this is why we have laws. You don't want to get things shouldn't go out of control. So good on Tucker Carlson for not beating him with a chair, though I can certainly understand why he felt that way. I think any father can understand the overwhelming rage and shock that I felt seeing my teenage daughter attacked by a stranger. But I restrained myself. I did not assault this man, and neither did my son, Carlson said. That is a lie, nor did I know the man was gay or Latino, not that it would have mattered. What happened on October 13th has nothing to do with identity politics. It was a grotesque violation of decency. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So, yeah, I guess we get it. You know, Avenatti's desperate. He's trying to come out. He's trying to have some kind of relevance. But the reality is, I think Tucker Carlson's wrong in the end. Because if he did splash wine in the guy's face, he might get in trouble for that. But, you know, look, there was a time where two guys get into a fight, and the cops would be like, yeah, go home. Fights happen. And we're getting really sensitive now. So this may end up, becoming something. If Tucker Carlson gave a statement where he said his son did splash him with wine, the guy could probably file charges against him. It's, plain and simple. But I think this is only surfacing now because of what happened with Tucker Carlson at his home. I also think it's only happening because Avenatti is desperate to remain relevant. Look, Tucker Carlson's famous. He's a Fox News host, but he is not Donald Trump. He is not a big-time politician. He is not the most relevant Republican in the world, though. Look, he's well known. He's famous. Avenatti is continually falling down where he was at one point up in arms with Trump, Stormy Daniels, and then he got involved in Kavanaugh. It seems like he's just fallen down the ladder. Less and less relevant individuals. You had the president, you had a potential Supreme Court nominee, Supreme Court justice, and now you have the host of a TV show. What's next? He's going to get into a bar with a voter? Yeah, Michael Avenatti's desperate. This is a non-story. But anyway, it just goes to show something may have happened. Who cares? Tucker Carlson's going to defend his family, and great. You just put Tucker Carlson in the spotlight again. I don't know, whatever. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. You can follow me on Twitter at TimCast. I'm going to have more videos on my main channel, which you can find by going to youtube.com/TimCast. Yes, it is a different channel. I have 2, maybe 3. So I'll see y'all then. Take care.